Hello again, everybody. It is a pleasure to sit across this side of the camera from you once again. I am Nate Price from the community team here at Wizards of the Coast, and I am joined by MTG Arena Game Director Chris Clay. How's it going?
It's going well. Glad to be here. We've got a lot of fun things to announce and talk about today.
We really do. It's the beauty of getting to the holiday season is it's an opportunity for us to do some fun and cool things for our community out there.
Yeah, it'll be a white Christmas.
Yeah. Let's start off, just to give you a little brief overview of what we're going to talk about here. More language support coming to MTG Arena. We also have the return of I don't want to call it a fan favorite, but the return of a much requested limited environment. Some cool additional events that we might have coming down the pipes. And then the really big thing, the meat of this presentation here, is going to be us talking about a revamp of our ranking and matchmaking systems.
That is correct. So, as we're coming into the release of, Rank 1.0, we're really looking forward to having goals for our players outside of acquiring their next deck. Now you get to really go in there and see where you stack up in the world.
Awesome. Before we dive too much into the rank, I want to make sure this is very important. Also, with this update, this is the official farewell party for our closed beta account system. So if you're watching this and for some reason haven't updated your account, you should go do that. Just go download the new client, run it through its paces, and it'll get you transferred over properly. If you haven't done that since the 27th, you should probably do that. If you don't do it by the time this update hits on the 13th, you're going to have to go through our support teams in order to get it taken care of. And they work really hard already. So anything you guys can do to make their lives a little easier, please just go get yourself taken care of before things, kind of kick themselves off with the new system. So you used the phrase earlier, Rank 1.0. This is going to be the bulk of what we talk about today because it's such a big part of the update. This is a brand new foundation for how ranking is going to work within the game. Why do we actually go ahead and kind of revamp all this stuff for people?
Yeah, I think anyone who has played in the open beta has come to the conclusion that rank doesn't really matter. So with hitting rank 1.0, we're really setting the foundation for competitive play inside of Arena. And we're looking to give people goals beyond just building that next deck and a real way to display their skill, whether it's in constructed or limited play.
Cool. So you'll get to know how skillful you are based on the rank that you achieve. It's kind of a track that runs from bronze, silver, gold, diamond, platinum, all the way to mythic. And as you travel along, it happens in a stepwise fashion, right?
Correct. So it's something that you'd be familiar with if you had played other CCGs in the space. It's going to be stepwise. It's going to advance you more to begin, and then as you get to those higher tiers, it's going to be a little bit harder to climb up those ranks into Mythic. And then it gets really exciting once you get into Mythic because you're going to get even more information about where you're at.
All right. And now, one thing that I want to make sure that we get out there is you do get some sort of end of season reward, right? As you said, you wanted that skill to actually matter. And it matters beyond just simply getting yourself to some sort of precious metal named tier. You actually get things at the end of the seasons, right?
Right. So at the end of each season will be a month long. You will receive a seasonal reward depending on your rank. And at that point, the ranks will decay. We're not resetting everyone back to round 0. Depending on where you are, you'll have some level of decay, something that will play with. It's part of why we're doing this preseason to get a feel for things.
Yeah, tune things
around
a little. Yeah. Cool. I should also make note, again, I will at one point be the #1 Mythic player in the world, but that is not going to be on the constructed side of things. I'm a limited player. I do have a path to be #1 because we have 2 different ranks, right? One for constructed, one for limited?
Correct. We have 2 different pathways, one for constructed and one for rank. Both will be in best of 1 modes. We're calling those our arena modes. The other modes, so best of 3 games, will have a traditional moniker in front of them.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, and I'd like to dive a little further into this, the fact that there is 1 game mode for which your rank matters for limited and 1 for constructed as well.
That's correct.
We have, your rank is going to be one of the components that goes into how you get matched up against players. Let's talk a little bit about matchmaking now and how that rank is going to impact matchmaking, specifically in those ranked modes. It's going to be rank. Rank's not the only component, is it?
No, that's correct. So when you're matchmaking in the ranked ladders, they're a little bit different between limited and constructed. You're essentially going to be matchmaking off of your rank primarily, with a little bit of elo on the constructed side. And then for limited, it's a little bit more complex because limited has runs. So it's a combination of rank and win-loss, as well as elo on the side.
Okay, cool. Now, for those of you guys out there who are not big ranked players, you're looking to just play the game in like a more casual method, we didn't forget about you. Even though ranked matters in the ranked matchmaking, we've done some revamping to how matchmaking works for all of the other queues and events that we're going to have as well, right?
Right, so with the best of one becoming ranked, we've separated it out basically unranked queues for both best of one and best of three. So you'll have play for best of one and traditional play for best of three. For best of one, it will use an aspect of deck-based matchmaking. Best of three will just be using elo in that unranked queue. And that elo will be separate from the ranked elo.
This sounds like there's a lot of information that goes into
There will be a very lengthy State of the Beta post to cover all of this.
And that's going to go up December 12th. I'm going to tease myself, and I'm going to say this again towards the end of everything. But December 12th, you guys will get all of that information. And I know, especially when it comes to how the deck matching worked out, like we take in a lot of the feedback that people have given us into consideration when you guys have kind of developed how this new matchmaking is going to work for that. And you'll get into that in the State of the Beta?
Yeah, I mean, it did a lot of good work in protecting new players, but once you sort of left the newbie decks behind and started modifying, it didn't quite do what we want, led to more mirror matches than we were like. So we revamped that and believe this is going to provide a much better unranked experience.
Excellent. Well, let's dive on into the next section. I figure we can let the ranking and matchmaking stuff, we're going to get a lot of questions about those. I recommend please wait until we put that State of the Beta out and have that additional information. It's a lot easier than us trying to disseminate it one-on-one via Twitter, as much as we love you guys. So I'd like to actually talk about the language support that we're going to be getting for MTG Arena with this update on the 13th. We are going to be bringing the game to its first new region since we did the whole PFIGS update earlier, and that's going to be players in Russia are now going to be able to play the game in Russian.
So you can stop reaching out to me on Twitter. It's coming.
Yeah, I'm always happy when we get to bring the game to new additional audiences.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah. We're also going to be revisiting, I should say, a previous limited environment. There's been some requests from our community to bring back Rivals of Ixalan block draft, and so you guys said cool, or limited, I should say.
Yeah, limited. So sometime around the holidays, you'll be seeing Ixalan Rick's sealed, and you will also be seeing a bit of Ixalan Rick's draft in the new year.
Cool. So sealed later this year, draft early next year.
Yep.
All right. We know we've got some additional events coming down the pipes too. We've been having a lot of fun since you guys introduced some of these more fun, wacky weekend events and the custom events that we've done with streamers.
Yeah, the streamer events have been a ton of fun. They've allowed us to really explore the space.
That's been a format actually.
Yeah. So we're going to keep doing that with streamers as well as some holiday event, and some other excitement and pandemonium.
I've heard that there might be a little bit of pandemonium coming next year. I have literally no idea what. There's a word on my card. I have no idea what that means, but I guess we'll find out soon. All right. Well, that was a lot of stuff. We've covered a lot of ground today. You guys have been working on some of this stuff for a really long time now. There's a lot of detail that goes into it.
There's been a lot of work in the new rank system, and there will be a lot of details in the State of the Beta coming out on December 12th for everyone to dig into and break apart and give us feedback on.
Yes. Thank you again for everybody for playing the game and providing us with this feedback. A lot of the feedback that you provided through the closed and open beta so far is actually stuff that has really impacted the work that's gone into this ranking and matchmaking update that we're doing this time. So please don't stop the flow of information. One last thing before we actually get out of here. We have something coming up at the Game Awards on December 6th, starting at 6 p.m. Make sure that you tune into their broadcast. You can find them at thegameawards.com. Check it out. I think you guys might at least be interested a little bit in what we have to say there. So thank you again to everybody for joining us. Chris, it's been a pleasure sitting here talking to you about this stuff. I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of how we stack up on the old limited queues.
Yeah.
The rivalry begins here.
Yeah, we'll have to do a stream at some point and see just where we are rank-wise.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Continue to give us your feedback. Continue to follow us on social media. If you got questions, answers come on the 12th. We'll see you in game on the 13th.
See you then.
Thanks, guys.